Hello there. It is Wednesday, September 10th, and tomorrow will be my 1 month anniversary. I get my month anniversary with the Disney College program. I apologize for not making any other vlogs since I've been down here, but to be honest, there wasn't really anything that I needed to talk about that I couldn't just write about. But I copied my friend Dee, and I made a list of things to talk about. And so it would make more sense for me to talk about the list opposed to writing about it. So that's why now I finally have a vlog. And also because people gave me a hard time for not updating. So I'm here, finally. The first thing I'm going to talk about was actually something I wrote about already, and that was my Great Service Fanatic card. I got this from my manager, and they give these to cast members who go above and beyond, and it says that I was recognized for exemplifying the basics by going above and beyond. She stayed on set an extra 15 minutes to cover. So that's very exciting. I know my friend Dee's got one, and my friend Kate has got one, but I haven't seen anyone else actually get one. So I don't know how rare, how common they are, but in any case, I'm really excited that I got one, especially because I got it in less than my first month. So let's go on to the list, and I'll try to do this pretty quick because this is the second time I try to record this because I went way too long in the first one. So first on the list is Todd. You may or may not know, depending on if you actually know me, the fact that Todd is moving to Orlando. I'm very excited. He obviously lives in Iowa, and he has just recently ended his employment with the financial firm or the financial services firm he was with in Des Moines, and has started looking for and applying to jobs in Orlando. Now when he actually gets down here, depends on how that job search goes. If he gets a job right away, then he'll be down here, or he may wait a couple months. But once he gets down here, I'm going to move out of the housing units for CP and then probably just move in with him. So that's very exciting news. But on the other side of that, since obviously he's moving down here, that means that Orlando will be our new permanent home. That's very exciting. I could not be happier, but there's also something really scary about that. And that's the fact that the Walt Disney World Parks and Resorts is currently on a hiring freeze. And they're on a hiring freeze for a couple different reasons. One, because it's the slow period. They don't really need to be hiring a lot of people right now. And two, because of the economy the way that it is. Even though Disney finished really strong in the third quarter and their fiscal year ends this month, and their projections are that they're going to have a really strong end to the fiscal year as well, they have to keep in mind the rest of the country and how the economy is everywhere else, and so they're kind of on a hiring freeze. I know there may be some departments that are hiring, but entertainment is not, and I'm pretty sure attractions is not, some of the other things in operations is not. So when I'm done with my program and it's time for me to go full-time in January, it's going to be really hard to go full-time. Which leads me to my next topic, and that's the professional internships. Since I know that it's probably going to be next to impossible for me to be full-time in January, I need to have a backup plan, obviously, because it wouldn't be feasible for me to be down here with Todd without a full-time job. So the next thing is the professional internships. I have applied for 5. I just sent in my 3 final resumes and cover letters today, and so let me tell you about what I applied for. The first one is the entertainment manager position, which is the one that I want the most at this point. And because I'd like to stay in entertainment and I would like to move up through the system, and since I can't go full-time right away, then hopefully this professional internship will get me in the right door on the track to go full-time. If I don't get the entertainment management one, my second pick would be the operations management one, and operations supervises like ticketing, transportation, attractions, all of which I have an interest in. So I really am intrigued by how smoothly the park runs. I would like to be more involved with that on an administrative level. So that's why I'm interested in the operations one. And then the other 3 aren't necessarily management, but the next 3 all hone in on my personal skills. The third one is called the Learning Solutions PI, and they are responsible for coordinating training for new employees all over the parks and resorts. And I have a lot of experience with training in terms of student organizations. So that's why I applied for that one. And then college and international program recruiting, which is kind of like a combination of admissions registrar work, a lot of database work, which I have extensive database work with my registrar experience, and I've already worked for 4 admissions offices. So I've kind of got like the whole recruiting thing under my belt. So I think I'm pretty well qualified for that one. And then the 5th one is the college program, or college and international program operations, which is essentially the housing team. So in a collegiate world, that would be like Res Life, and I'm definitely qualified for that. So the only thing that I'm nervous about with these positions is A, which ones want me, and B, a lot of them have a desired or a required qualification that you are a junior or senior. I'm not. Not only am I not a junior senior, but I've already finished my master's. So I may be considered overqualified, or I may not even be looked at because I don't have junior senior status. So now it's just making sure that my resume gets through the system into the right hands, because if I don't have the right keywords on my resume, then the department will never get them. So I've got a meeting coming up here in the next couple of weeks with a professional that hires some interns, and I'm really looking forward to meeting with him and getting more information. So that's kind of like the future of where I'm going at Disney at this point. So now let's focus on what's going on today. The first thing is my roommates. I love my immediate roommate. Like, I look over there because that's where her bed is, but it doesn't mean anything to you because you can't see that. I have not had any problems with any of my roommates in terms of like one-on-one. I get along with them all pretty well. But there is one issue that I do need to vent about because it's starting to kind of like tickle me a little bit. And even though it's not a big deal, if I don't figure out a solution to this soon, then it may turn into a big deal for me. And that is the fact that I can't go grocery shopping. I mean, I can. I just get in my car and go. But the reason I can't go is because there is no room for me to put anything in the refrigerator or the freezer. It is packed solid. Like, I can move things around and probably in the refrigerator to, like, sneak some things in there, but nothing to the extent of what I want to buy. So all my roommates went shopping earlier this week, and I was going to go shopping today, but I have now postponed that shopping trip until Saturday, and hoping that maybe the refrigerator empties out so that I can add my stuff in on Saturday. And just to give you an idea of how much stuff I have in the refrigerator freezer, in the freezer I have a 12-pack box of Hot Pockets, but I've already eaten like 6 of the Hot Pockets, so inside the box is then my other box of chicken nuggets, which essentially means I'm only taking up the room of a 12 box of Hot Pockets. And the freezer's pretty small, so I mean, like, that's okay. That's a pretty good size. I could be taking up more, but if I open the freezer and I'm not careful, something will fall out and probably knock me in the head. So the freezer is full to the brim. In the refrigerator, this is my favorite part. In the refrigerator, I have a jar of pickles. Yep, that's it. A jar of pickles. I also have a Brita pitcher in there, except the pitcher is like community pitcher, so everybody can use it, so I don't really count that as mine. It's everybody's pitcher. So yeah, all I've got is a jar of pickles. I need to go grocery shopping. So beyond the fridge, I talk about work a lot, but I never talk about in my blog like what I do on my days off, because quite frankly, I don't think you care, and I don't really like talking about my days off because it's not really that interesting. But guaranteed, if it's a day off, I probably went to the park. I've been Animal Kingdom the most. I have surprisingly done that entire park 3 times. I'm there all the time. I was just there yesterday, and then the day before that, and last week. Yesterday I rode Everest 3 times. Twice back to back because there was no wait, and then we went back a couple hours later and then rode it again. So I always go to the parks on my days off. I have a lot of different friends that like meet at different parks, and I tried to go paddle boating with Dee at the cast retreat area on Monday, but they don't allow paddle boating during the week, only on the weekends. So then we just went to the pool. Monday was the first day that I haven't gone to the park since I've been here. Technically, I kind of have today off and I didn't go to the parks because I told myself that I was going to take today off. But I'm actually going to go to the park here in an hour, so a lot of good that did me. So that's kind of what days off are like. My days off end up being more hectic than one of the days that I have work, which gets me into work. I'm going to actually end this blog here because it's going to run out of time, and I'm going to start a new one that's all about scheduling. So hold that thought, and I'll be right back.